In this video, I'm going to show you how to add a halftone into the file. For the finest results, I do think that having the laser cutter add the halftone to a grayscale image is the best thing. But if you wanted a specific halftone size or specific halftone shape, then you might choose to add it in the file instead. So to do that, the first thing we're going to do with our image that has been adjusted is that we are going to merge it into one layer. Adding the halftone with all of this adjustment is not going to give you as clean a halftone as if you're working from the image as a single layer. So to do that, we go up to the hamburger menu and choose Merge Visible or Flatten Image. All right, now that image has been collapsed into one. And of course, at this point, we can't make any further adjustments. We can't go back. So quickly go up to File and hit Save As. And we're going to save this as Adjusted Video Halftone. And again, I'm saving this as a TIFF and not a Photoshop file. The next thing we need to consider is what size are we going to engrave it at? So if we look here on the ruler, this image is 22 inches wide. And if I add the halftone to this image, bring it into Illustrator and then shrink it, the halftone is not necessarily going to be representative of what it is in the file because we've shrunk it down. So we're going to change the size of the image in Photoshop to start by going up to Image and Image Size. Now the default is usually with the resample box checked. And I'm going to show you what happens if we have that resample box checked. Here I am in inches. You might see pixels. If you see pixels, turn it to inches. And I'm going to change the height to 10 inches. Look at the dimensions here. They're nice and large. And change this to 10 inches. And notice how the pixel dimensions got smaller. Now this is still a relatively large image, so it might not be as big of a deal. But with something else, if your pixel dimensions were to get smaller, that would not be a good thing because you'd be losing resolution. So I suggest unclipping resample, making the change to the dimensions, and notice that it's made that change, but it's kept all of those pixels, so we still have a really high pixel image. So you can see here that image is super high. This means that it's going to be very cumbersome. I probably don't need all these pixels for an 8x10 image. I'm actually going to choose to have the resample button, but I've made so many changes at this point I actually have to cancel out, go back to image, image size, click resample, change it to 10, and there we go. So you see how that's, it was 160, now it's 20. It's just going to be a lot easier. I don't think I'm going to lose a huge amount of resolution, and it's going to be easier to work with. So I can zoom in to see, yeah, that resolution is still pretty darn good. Okay, now that the image is to the engraving size, we can put a halftone pattern on it by going up to Image, Mode, turning it to Grayscale. It's going to ask us to discard all the color information, then Image, Mode, and Bitmap. Now for the output size. A higher output size like 800 is going to give you a cleaner halftone dot. The lower that output size, the more jagged your dot is going to be. So you can experiment with this. I'm going to keep it to 800 and I'm going to choose halftone screen under method, click OK. And now we have to choose the size of the halftone dot. Right now I'm going to choose 45. This is a relatively large halftone dot, but that's what I'm in the mood for right now. So click OK. We're going to zoom in. And we've got a fairly good circular dot. It's not a perfect circle, but there we go. That is our halftone image. So I'm going to go up to File and Save As. And I'm actually going to change this to halftone 45, so I know what size dot it is. and click Save. All right, let's look up at the file name here. Notice that it says a bitmap. Some laser cutter files cannot see a TIFF file that is a bitmap. So we want to change this back to grayscale. So Image, Mode, and bring it back to grayscale. Choose a size ratio of 1. And here we have a TIFF that is a grayscale image. And I'm going to select Save. Before you jump to the next video, post your #1 takeaway. What gets written gets remembered.